Okay. Welcome, everyone, to what we're calling My Dear People. It's a podcast, I guess, or an interview series, which is going to be 7 different episodes, one releasing every day of the week. So this is Monday. Welcome to Monday. Today, Susanna has graciously agreed to sit down with me and just have a conversation. So we're sitting here, we're in the church up on the front, and it's a lonely auditorium. We were just talking about this a few seconds ago, like, it's incredibly unprofessional, and we're just, like, we don't really know what we're doing, and, like, in 5 years, we'll probably look back, and it'll just be so bad. But I was telling her that right now I'm a college student and a freshman, and I have all these classes where, like, Spanish and English and astronomy, and I work so hard for so many hours at these things that will never really come to anything, except that I'll know a bit more about the stars or conjugating the verb podir or whatever. So it's cool to just sometimes, like, put your energy into something that at the end you actually, like, have a little something to show for it. Mm-hmm. And the other incentive was last night I roamed eBay for like an hour buying all the prizes. So if I don't go through with this thing, I'll have more than one copy of CDs that I already own. So here we are. So we have a couple questions, and then we'll give some cool stuff away. But first of all, Sue, do you just want to tell us a bit about who you are?
Sure. So I'm never really sure what to say when people ask me about who I am. But some stuff about my life, I guess. I was raised here in South Carolina, although you couldn't really tell it by my voice. The South has defined me, but it doesn't always sound like it. My family has been living in Colorado for the last couple of years, and I was there longer than them, so I haven't actually lived in the South for...
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been about 4 years. So it's really good to be here, good to be back. I'm currently working for a nonprofit organization in Canyon City, Colorado, called New Horizons Ministries. And it's a ministry that was founded originally to care for children whose mothers are incarcerated. Yeah. And so that's what took me there. And I served in the child care capacity for almost 2 years, and now I'm working in the ministry office, and I'm kind of their event organizer, and so that's what I do there, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, so the ministry you're with focuses on prison ministry and taking care of the kids.
Yes, and it's expanded beyond that to, we have enough staff that we've had to create programs for our staff that keep us pulled together as a group. So we minister to children and families in need. We minister to those behind bars. We also have a chance to minister in the workplace because we are at least partially self-supported by 2 thrift stores that fund what we do. And so we've had a chance to impact all those arenas, and God has really blessed us to be able to do those things.
Sure. Yeah, you guys are like, how long have you been gone? Like, your family moved away?
My family moved away in April of 2016.
So it's been like 2 years.
So it's we're almost coming right up on the 2-year mark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it feels like whenever you guys are around, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it just feels like, oh, they're back. Like, they should be here, and they are now. Because, like, the other day at the basketball game, Sean walked in, and I looked over and I was like, oh, Sean. It's like, wait, Sean's here. He's supposed to be in Asia.
Yeah.
He's back for Joanna's wedding too. So. Yeah,
it does feel like we still have really deep roots here. Yeah. And coming back is kind of like coming home.
You were my 8th grade math teacher.
Mm-hmm. I was a little wet behind the ears and just
good times.
Yep, learning a lot about life at that point.
You should say a little bit about the album you guys just made. Okay. That's pretty cool too.
All right, so my family's always enjoyed music. My brother Josh and I have done a lot of music for weddings and just, some stuff, events, I guess, on our own too. And so I've also kind of dabbled in songwriting and really enjoy music as an expression of worship
Mhm.
and art and communication, I guess, too. And so I have these songs that I just have always wanted to document or record. And Josh actually moved to Florida last fall, and so we're like 1,500 miles apart right now, and decided to, take the opportunity to make a recording, to make an album. And so we put an album together called Conversations in My Head, and
It's really good.
well, thank you. We actually got to use one of your songs, which is really awesome.
Corey played on it.
Yeah.
I wrote a little bit on it.
Yep.
You guys recorded it with some people.
And we did a cover of Andrew Peterson's After the Last Tear Falls. And so just a lot of fun putting that together, and actually, like you were talking about, have something to show for some hours of creating and time. So that was
along with that, like, I remember you were the first person who I ever heard that I knew that like wrote a song of their own and played it. Like, I remember you playing in church in the gym, I think. It was like something based on some Old Testament something, and I was just like, wow, I didn't know like normal people could like write their own songs and play them.
Normal
It was cool. So then and then later I discovered like there's a few of us around, like Corey and you.
I think when you get into something like that, you automatically look around for people who do the same thing. Or you're
and at first you think there's no one else.
Yep.
Anyway, so okay, the first question I have for you: what is your favorite thing about Jesus, or your favorite aspect of the gospel?
Okay, so something that I really love about Jesus is his faithfulness. I guess when I think about like who he is and his attributes and my relationship with him, that is something that stands out. And I guess the thing that strikes me about the faithfulness of God is that I am so grateful that it doesn't hinge or have anything to do with my own faithfulness, because it looks like how he is faithful looks so different than our version of faithfulness, I guess, sometimes. Mundane life kind of gets the best of us sometimes, and we don't always want to be faithful with what he's given us. But for him, faithfulness means that he always sticks to his word. He always sticks to the principles that he has established for like our world, the created world, in the spirit realm. Like, his faithfulness means that sometimes we just want him to come in and we just want him to change a situation. And sometimes he does that. But he always sticks to the principles that he set up. And one of those things is choice. He's given us choice. And so he's always going to give us choice, because that's something that he gave us. And to be faithful to that, he has to allow us that choice.
Yeah.
And so that means, sometimes that means, one of the biggest questions people ask about bad situations that happen to good people is, how could God allow that? And the simple answer is very simple. Obviously, there's more to it than this, but at its simplest, like, that is how he created the world to run, and so he's sticking to that. It's his faithfulness. Yeah,
like we said earlier, like, he's faithful. His faithfulness looks different than our faithfulness, because man, I'm not always faithful, but sometimes it's good that I'm not faithful, because I need to change, like, right? Like,
exactly.
if I stuck to the same things that I was doing a year ago, like, or if I stuck to the same things in a year from now, like, we need to change, but he doesn't. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, and he would always be true to his character, and we can take that to the bank every time. We can always rely on his faithfulness, his goodness, his kindness. Those things, they never change.
Sure. Okay. The second question: what is something that you love right now about where you're at in life, and what's something that's really hard right now about where you're at?
So something that I actually really love about my life is that I actually have a job that goes very well with my giftings. Like, I can use what I'm gifted in to do my job, and I think there's a lot of fulfillment in that. Like, when you're gifted with something, to be able to use it, but to not be able to use it is frustrating. When you don't have an outlet for your gifts, like, that's frustrating. And to be able to use what God is, the gifts that He has given me, and even that have been developed in me over the years, is something that I really enjoy. I guess, kind of a description of that is that I have probably an attention to detail that not everybody has. And so because I organize...
That's why math was so hard.
Yeah. Because I organize and plan events, keeping track of details is important, and so that's something that I enjoy.
Well, with what you said about gifts, if I could break in real quick.
Yeah.
I was listening to the grandfather version of this podcast the other day. Andy Osenga is The Pivot. Have you listened to that?
Oh, I know that those guys do them, but fabulous. I haven't ever listened to his.
Anyway, Jonathan Rogers was on there, and he was talking about how we're not giving our gifts for ourselves. We're giving our gifts for other people. So I think that's so, like, when you're in a job where you can't really use your gifts, it sucks for you because it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
But it also, like,
it doesn't help anybody else either.
The reason you were put here, right? So you have your gifts, and it's fun, but it's also for other people.
Yeah. On a little bit of a different note, something I really enjoy about the state of Colorado is there's a lot of access to, like, trails and beautiful sites, and there's you just don't have to go very far to get to some really cool places. And so that's also something I enjoy about life right now. The flip side of that, something that I don't love about life right now, is that this is probably this is a season in my family where we're super spread out.
Yeah, you are.
And like, that just has taken some getting used to.
Because you've got Randall, who's in Asia.
Yes.
Josh is a chief at the Gator Camp. Matt is a supervisor at the Gator Camp.
Yep.
Katie's going to college, but living with you guys, and Patrick and you and your parents.
Yeah, so so I'm the oldest. It's the oldest and the two youngest and the parents at home, and it's just really different, like getting used to not all living on a pile. But it's really good. I know God didn't mean for us to all stay on a pile. And also Colorado it feels really removed from, like, here and some of the places where people are that I would really like to see more often than I do. But it's good. It's good. Good season.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
It went pretty good.
We'll see what we think when we hit the playback.
All right, the cool part now, what we've all been waiting for. I decided that one cool thing to do would be to give away some, I guess we'll call it art. And I want to be clear, it's not the stuff that I think is necessarily the best stuff in the world today, but I want to give away some of the things that, as I was growing up and as I am growing up, has really meant a lot to me. So at the end of every episode of this thing, I want to give away a book and a CD. And the first, we'll start, where did it go?
It's under there, yeah.
It's under there.
Under the phone.
Over and underneath.
Over.
So the first thing is 10th Avenue North CD, Over and Underneath. I don't know if this was their first album technically, but it was their first decent album. And man, I spent so much time with this thing back in the day. Like, By Your Side, that little guitar riff. Like there are albums that mean a lot to you, but there are also albums, I don't know if it's been like this for you on piano, but that teach you how to play. Like, I spent so much time with Times, By Your Side, Lift Us Up to Fall. Like, I learned how to play guitar on these songs, and like, this was
That's
like the
really
first
cool.
Christian pop, I guess, if you want to call it that. Oh, crap. That I ever heard. And yeah, it really meant a lot to me.
That's cool.
Do you have anything about this album? I know Josh is a huge 10th Avenue North fan, or was.
Yeah. When I was taught piano, I was taught piano by this wonderful old Southern lady who played piano in her church for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And she was kind of a by the book. Like, she grew up on classical and playing hymns, that's the way that she taught us to play was sheet music. She taught us to read music and to play by books. And so as we were getting into learning how to play music with other people, you can't use music all the time to play with other people.
Yeah, because they probably don't know how to read it.
Well, some people don't know how to read it, and some people just are much more about playing by ear. And you have to have you have to have a way to play together. And so sometimes like chords, some of that
Sure.
stuff is the
You
easiest
have to
way to
speak
go.
the same language, whether it's notes,
That's right.
1, 4, 5,
yes.
or key of G.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So when we were learning how to play with other people, 10th Avenue North was one of the first artists that we copied in order to sing
Yeah.
and play at the same time. And so I
Yeah.
remember using those songs.
Like, if you go, I mean, we didn't really record much of it, but if you would have been at any performance
Yeah.
that any of us guys or you did, By Your Side was played, and every time we ever got up on stage, we played By Your Side.
Absolutely.
Great tune. So, yeah, good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. So far, there's not many people in the drawing, so you have a pretty good chance.
Your odds are looking pretty good.
Okay, and the book we're going to give away is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And this book was recommended to me by my friend Emily in Oregon. And I don't know, I don't have just a whole lot to say about it, except that I really hope a mom wins this book. I guess I could rig
Why do
the
you want a mom to win?
because I just feel like it's such a book for moms. Like, that's not a good answer, but like, like
Does it tell me
Wendy,
a lot?
well, like she's so afraid to let Wendy go
Mm.
off to Neverland
Mhm.
because she won't ever come back.
Yeah.
But Wendy does come back. And also, this is a different subject. I love the like the vices of Peter versus Captain Hook. Peter, I don't want to ruin the book, but he's like such a guy, but he's just selfish and self-absorbed. He has so like narrow perspective, And then Captain Hook is like so caught up with style. Like style is his thing. Like even at the very end, he's like losing, and as he's falling, he's like, bad style. Do you remember that?
Not really.
I don't know if I can
You should see if you can
find
find
it
it.
really quick, but nah, you just have to read it. Hope you
Okay.
win it.
All right. That'd be a little. We'll put that out there for let you read it and see what you
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So Sue is going to read some of my favorite verses out of the Old Testament to bless you as you leave, and yeah, that'll be it.
All right. So from Numbers 6. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
I've been holding on so tight. Look at these knuckles, they've gone white. I'm fighting for who I wanna be. I'm just trying.